Good morning.
Good morning.
We are up early. Today's a big day. We are going to be passing by the Cruz de Ferro today. So
somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's one of those high points on the mountain way back there. You can't see it, but we'll get closer. You'll get a much better view.
Ran into a little snag. Rex has dropped his pack off here. I've got it. Luckily, there's a little bench here. Watching all that so he can very quickly make his way back down part of the mountain to the hostel that we stayed at last night and get his fanny pack. So he had, when we went out to dinner last night, he had hid it in the armoire with his rain jacket and everything else, but somehow this morning it didn't make it into his pack. And up here when we were taking our rain jackets off this morning, he discovered it was missing. So there is a very pissed off Rex running back down the mountain to go get that pack. So, I hope he's able to shake it off when he gets back, and we continue on up this mountain.
Well, here I am again, walking back after making good progress, walking all the way back to our previous hotel to pick up yet another fanny pack that was left behind. I'm so mad right now. This is mine this time. It's not Kara's, so I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at myself. But this is the result of every night staying in a different place, putting things in a different location just because the room is set up differently. And no matter, you can do this properly for 42 days in a row, and on day 43, it gets left behind. So we were halfway up to our one of our destinations for the day, and I have to turn around and go get it because it has my passport in it. It's got my Camino credentials. It's got all the, important stuff. The only thing it doesn't have in it is my wallet. That's in my backpack. So I can't leave it behind. I gotta go back and get it. Can't just call somebody to pick it up and drive it to us. So it's gotta be done. But I have this whole walk back to just fume and stew about this. I'm so mad. All right, catastrophe avoided. I got it. I found it right where I'd left it. Just had to walk an extra mile or two more than I expected today. So still pretty mad at myself, but catastrophe avoided. So time to move on.
Well, it is certainly sounding and looking like fall. Rain is coming down. Wind is rustling the trees. We're getting closer to the top.
We are on our climb up to El Cruz de Ferro, the Iron Cross, which is it marks the highest point on the entire Camino Frances, which is the one that we are taking. So everything that we've done till now, it's been up and down, but this is the highest point on the entire stretch that we are taking. And there's some traditions that happen with that. Many of you may have seen in our packing list, or we may have talked to you early on, that pilgrims are encouraged to bring a rock with them along this journey. This is what that rock is for. So tradition holds that you bring a rock from home, which represents a burden. So you're bringing your burdens with you, and then you lay it at the base of the Cruz de Ferro when you get to it. We'll see a lot of different things because people bring their own burdens. They bring wishes and thoughts and prayers for others that may be ill or may have passed away. So we'll see lots of things when we get there. But most people bring a rock. Cara and I both did. And so today is the day that we get to unburden ourselves from that rock. So we'll show more when we get there. But that's kind of the history of why this is so special and why it's an exciting day. Yay, it's raining. Beautiful day for a hike. Well, at least we finally get to use these rain jackets we've been carrying around all month long. Today is the worst weather day we've had on the Camino so far. It has been raining. We are as geared up as we can be, but I'm still soaking wet. My pants are wet. My shoes are just about starting to give out where they're gonna soak through here. And we still have, I don't know, at least 10 kilometers or more to go. So this is one of those push through it, there's nothing we can do about it, embrace the suck kind of days.
It's really coming down now. Got little rivers in the trail here. Wind is coming at an angle. It's getting a little sketch. But going uphill, at least that's easier. Trying not to get in my head about the descent, since it is the worst, or it's the most trying descent, let's say that, of the entire Camino. But of course, in true round tree fashion, we have to do it with wind and rain, right? I mean, come on now. I mean, if it's easy, it ain't worth doing. So we made it. We're here at the highest point in the Camino. There's the Cruz de Ferro behind us, and time to take a little break and see if we can use some shelter that's over there, and then place our rocks and head on out. Here's my rock. Thank you, Natalie, and all the glampers. I love you. All the folks in my life that have given me strength over the years to persevere. It really came in handy this trip, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Now my rock. Well, we are getting ready to make our way down the biggest descent of the Camino. It's going to be tough. Little extra complication with the rain, of course.
Yeah.
But we have energized ourselves with some lunch, and we have taken the extra measures we need to make the downhill successfully. We have removed our pole tips.
Yeah, the pole tips are nice when you're in town on the concrete and stuff, so you don't hear the tick 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 clank clank clank. But they don't grip as well when you're trying to go downhill.
True, and we relaced our shoes, tightened them up around the ankles so they don't slam into the toe with every downhill step. And then, only because I've been carrying them this entire time, I put my knee support braces on for this downhill to proactively save them. So we'll let you know when we get down.
Navigating the river path takes special skills, which we've got.
Okay, the wind has kicked up. Every bit of me is wet. Toes and fingers are freezing. I find myself wondering, whose idea was this anyway?
It's like the Camino, she said. It'll be fun, she said. Sure, baby, let's do it.
So, just when we thought it couldn't get any worse, we have sleet. It is really, really, really cold out here. And these pellets are slapping us like, ow, crazy. I'm going to stop this now because that doesn't feel good. I'm going to put my head back down. So, talk to you when we get there, hopefully in about 3 kilometers. So we finally arrived in town. Rex's teeth are chattering.
They really are.
It is really cold.
And we're wet.
I think our pants and shoes became icicles, so our legs and feet don't hurt at all. We misjudged and thought our albergue was at the beginning of town because it had the same name. And we went in there, we were super excited that we were done. And she goes, oh, let me explain something to you. I'm like, great, what? She said, your albergue is at the other end of town. And we looked up and saw a bar and saw Four Roses bourbon and said, dos.
2, please.
And decided to have a bourbon before heading over to our albergue. So now we're en route. We're much happier now. We still don't feel any pain, so it's all good, but we are freezing our butt off and cannot wait to get
Into dry
changed.
clothes.
Yes.